So, I got everything powered on, including to the Ubuntu desktop. Oh, I preferred Fedora, but the people that were suggesting me set this up asked me to use Ubuntu. So, I'm using Ubuntu. Besides, there's not enough. I don't know why, but it's just a bit annoying to use Fedora because so much isn't. There's more for Ubuntu off the shelf. But yeah, so I need to pin this up there again. A second. If my pin wants to stay. This is absolutely how YouTube is supposed to be. Edited videos? How about do everything in one take and upload things? But yeah, I added some poster board under here so that won't happen. I mean, I figured that would happen, but I figured it'd be easy enough to fix anyways. So in due time, when I get everything more set up, I'll make a better way for that to not be suffocated. When I eventually do make the edited presentation of this, I will have the ones from downstairs. There's one in my parents' room, there's one in the hall. So there's like 3 identical versions of these. So I'll have them sort of set up, demonstrating the concept, but it's not really necessary for me to have more than one, because I have this little chamber here, effectively channeling all of the air through this, so all of the hot air is being blown in the same direction as the actual airflow, so it's being pushed through in a way that actually helps all of the hot air come out of here. So all of the hot air and the PSU smell, the warm PSU smell, is over here. And that's the video switch. So you saw Ubuntu over there. I think this is one of the ones that had me working. I think that might have, let me make sure that doesn't have any bad. I do not want to reveal sensitive info. I don't know what part of this is sensitive information. So, let's see. There we go. Kind of make odd stuff. It is existing. I don't know what's up there. Oh, I think that one was working. Sad ukulele noises. But, you can. Not all of these have, because again, the VGA cables, there maybe the ones that aren't showing a display just don't have the VGA cables. Also, they're not in order. I decided I'd mess with the order after I get everything configured. Peter, I have to fix him up because, I tried adding an extra drive to him, and he decided he didn't like that, and the entire computer decided to just not post. So, I'm not really sure what's going on, but he requires extra diagnosis. This thing, haven't named it yet, but, that requires extra attention, because I do not know how to get this thing working. Well, I got it to boot once when I was in the repurpose project, but it's got a really finicky CMOS stuff with it. This router, as I said, I just grabbed this morning. It still has all of my dad's old configurations on it, but again, these are really old routers. We're using the Orbi wireless access points right now. Wi-Fi 6 mesh networks. This one, I don't know which generation it is. Might be AX. I think it's AX, AC or AX, but it's got a USB 3.0 port on the back, so it's not as old as these ones. Phil is ancient. This one is from the repurpose project, but it's newer than. It's the same thing it's the same version of Phil, but just later on. That has to be. That's its own project because I have to learn RAID and set that up. But only these are the sort of like the tags that I made. I have to learn. I accidentally made the wires a bit too short because I have this flush to the back, not flush to the front. So I'm going to be very, very cursed and lengthen the wires by soldering them, because I don't really have much of another choice. These need to be lengthened, not shortened, and I don't have enough Ethernet to make new cables, so this has to be done in a very cursed way, and that is by chopping up pieces of other Ethernet cables and soldering them. It's very cursed, but it is what it is. Womp. This one seems to be receiving signals, but I'm not going to bother with the VGA stuff right now with this. Eventually I will. But yeah, I'll label everything else. These do light up. I just don't remember where I kept the module for it. That's more for show. I just grabbed that at Skycraft. I don't know. That's a whole other thing for me to figure out. I don't even know what I'm going to use this for. I have 3 switches. I went from like having no Homelab stuff to having so much that I don't even know what to. Those 2 were just given to me for free because like I asked in the Maker Effects Slack if anyone had some hardware, and they said we have these things, and that just happens to be something super perfect for me to use. I didn't even the switch was the thing. It was really useful, but now this entire setup emulates an entire data center because you have Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3, and they are effectively on their own circuit. So that one's plugged into this one's plugged into this one. This one is plugged in behind my bed, the outlet that's on the other side of this, which the only other thing plugged into it is the stuff that charges my phone and stuff. And that's not something you should see. That's eventually I do want to get my companion cube sort of plugged in and shown. And lit, because like this is sort of like my equivalent of the companion cube in a way. Portal was a really big influence in my life. The TV is a problem because it only takes HDMI, and I don't have a VGA to HDMI. I have a VGA to DisplayPort, because that's what this computer was using. But I do not have a way of, as I originally planned. Well, I have to get it, added to the Black Friday list, but getting the other side of the duplicate output of what's on that monitor duplicated onto this screen, and then really what I need is a way to use this third monitor having that sort of reflected on this, because that needs to duplicate on that screen, and then I need that computer. Well, this one doesn't really need to be mirrored, it just needs to be a second monitor of this onto that. Then that one would be reflected on there, because yeah. But that's my desktop is mostly going to be a Windows server, because I need to be able to play, maybe not Windows, it's literally just exists so that I can play my games on there. Because I know that there's a Steam client, a Steam for Linux and stuff, but then there's the whole thing with NVIDIA drivers that I don't want to deal with, because that's just a pain in the ass, and it's really, really unnecessary just to be like, I don't want to use Windows. Like, at that point, you're just being annoying if you're just trying to be a Linux user, right? So I'll take the L with the Windows and just have my desktop be my dedicated Windows client, with the option of being able to, well, it'll probably boot into Linux, and then from there I can choose Windows 10 and play my games if I want to. But I have to configure it in such a way that I can allow it to do that over a network, which would require me to set up the Windows server as well. But that's something I can do in the future. That's not like a pressing project. I need to get my desktop booting into the Linux environment, so that it can be part of this whole environment. Then I can worry about the Windows and game stuff later. But I have like a USB switcher on here somewhere, and I've added the cables, the male-to-male cables to the Black Friday list, because I don't know where that particular hub is right now, but it's basically a much larger version of this, and I would be able to turn off and on the different buttons and control which devices I send the keyboard signal to. So I would be able to control different machines without having to plug and unplug different things. And that shouldn't be really that much of an issue when it comes to server stuff. But when it comes to configuring the BIOS and stuff, that'll make it so much easier. But yeah. So one of the other things I do want to do is recreate what my room sort of looked like when I was... Oh, I shouldn't say what it looked like. I mean, there's older videos on my channel that sort of demonstrate this, but I had that bunk bed, right? And I only now realize that I like that idea of having something over my head, because it sort of... I mean... There's a lot of reasons why I like that feeling over my head. It just feels a lot more boxed in and stuff, but... So... It's probably just going to be like a a big sheet. Because I have these. I have this. I need to also find a place for these old green screen. I bought these like over 10 years ago, and I never actually set them up. So, which is funny because I remember these were bought years and years and years apart. I think this was bought like when I went to India in high school or something. It was a really long time ago, and this one was later on. I somehow got the exact same colors, but yeah, that was funny. But yes, so I can go back here. I think this was on 7. And I can open up and this is why I want to sort of I want to switch my actual configuration host to my desktop because this is way too slow. It's a RAM bottleneck, and I probably should add RAM to my Black Friday list. Do 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 do. This was not my intention of having one of these as a GUI host. I was not planning on having any of them as GUI. But yeah, this is a RAM bottleneck. It's not a CPU bottleneck. So once I'm able to upgrade the RAM in these machines, I should be able to see a significant performance boost in these. It does not want to launch. This has been a consistent issue with this, but yeah, it was not my idea to make this GUI. This is a temporary issue until I can get more RAM. By the time this loads, I'm going to run out of space. I might make a separate video about the mask configuration and the firewall configuration after I get everything like, I don't know, popped up. Nope. Every byte counts. They'll close you out. I learned how to get this all set up. It was really interesting because this was way more easy than I thought it would be. I just didn't know that this particular thing existed. But, yeah, I want to just skip the loading screens. There is significantly a RAM bottleneck here, but, this was not meant to be the GUI version, so yeah. I'm just trying to get the terminal. Let's see, do any of these work? Let's see. That's not working, so the other stuff will work. So yeah, I gotta do more network debugging, especially because some of these cables are kind of sketch. So most of them seem to boot. It seems to be back where I had it originally for the most part, except with braided wires and fumes that that smell too good, but yeah. Let's see where it goes. Got to get more done.